President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria has criticized the National Assembly for removing crucial projects from the 2022 budget estimates sent to it by the executive and inserting the lawmakers' projects to the tune of 887 billion in the fiscal document before it's signed into law. He also accused the federal lawmakers of making unnecessary incursions into the operational areas of the executive. This was just as the president had asked the National Assembly to amend the 2022 Appropriation Act passed in December 2021. The requests were contained in a letter dated February the 10th, 2022 and read during plenary by the Senate President Ahmad Lawan. Joining us to discuss further is Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, good morning to you.
Hi.
How are you doing, sir? Thanks for joining us. Lots to discuss, as always. Shall we start with the budgets, Chika? Budget planning.
Very interesting one.
Very.
Because it's like, let me look for that. It's like a father that the way the president addressed the
National Assembly
is like a father that caught his son with the hand in the cookie jar and just said, put it back, So it's like the day that the president was signing this budget,
yes,
we knew this was going to happen because he same speech, he read a speech and said that these guys inserted hundreds of projects into the budget, and so now he's written them, to take it away, take these projects away and give me my budget, and so the interesting thing is I'm waiting for Dr. Lawan,
yes,
the same president, spends all his time trying to convince us that the Senate and the reps are independent and not rubber stamps for the president.
Right.
So these projects that were started for the benefit of the members of the two houses, that the president has said now, like a child that was caught in the hand of Kukuja, put it back or remove it. We'll see what Dr. Lawan will do. Whether they will show their strength, which I'll be surprised. That would be a miracle.
But this happens even at the US, everywhere. Lawmakers always pass budgets, right?
I know, but the most important thing there is what we're talking about yesterday, what we talked about yesterday and the other day. You remember, the major thing there is the subsidy.
Right.
Almost 2.656 trillion of money we're burning. We're burning, and that's for July to the end of the year.
Right.
So cumulative for the year is about 3 trillion plus. Again, we're burning that money, and everybody is profiting from it. ASU, the medical people, everybody, the NLC. Let's not just consume the Commonwealth and continue to burn the subsidy, And the sad thing is, out of that 3 trillion subsidy, Nigerians don't benefit from it. Maybe less than half. The other half goes to the Cotonous and the Yaoundés and the Cameroons and so on and so forth.
Right.
Because as the projects come in, that's smuggled out. But so we hope, waiting our hand crossed, waiting for what the two houses to do to the president's letter. Especially
we will report it as it happens
on those projects that they say they should just
take out, strike it out. What do you make of the NNPC's response to the fuel scarcity?
I keep saying using that word. I have to keep saying it. The shame of a nation, that cannot that produces crude oil, but cannot manage any refinery, and also have to depend on importation for all the petroleum, PMS, and gasoline needs. So what they're saying is symptomatic of when you don't have, you have these economies in the pricing of a product. You see these things like that. Nobody interferes in how rice or beans or MTN does the recharge card or data. The market determines all those stuff.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that things will take their course. We're burning money. And remember yesterday I told you I worked for almost 40 minutes to get to the studio here to make sure I made my program.
Correct.
So there's a confusion all over the land. In serious countries where GDP, they worry about productivity. Somebody's head should have rolled by now. But everybody dancing at the press conference. Nobody's checking body.
Right.
It would think that, starting from the Minister of State, remember our President is Minister of Petroleum.
Correct, that's correct.
And then Minister of State, and then all these agencies, nobody's checking body, nobody's leaving. But in other climes where you have responsibility, somebody should have done that because of the man-hour slot, the revenue slot, the GDP loss, and even the life of people who have been put at risk.
Chika,
Ponzi scheme.
Ah, yes, the Ponzi schemes. That's something you've talked about extensively here. What do you make of the S.E.C reaching out?
Let me say it again. Fellow Nigerians
Yes.
and fellow viewers.
Public service announcement.
And public service announcement. There is nowhere all these promises of 20% a week or 20% a month or whatever. You will not. There's no investment that is like that.
It's not coming. It's not happening.
The Ponzi is a fake investment scheme where you have the promise to the later investors.
Yes.
To pay off the earlier investors from the proceeds of the later investors.
Right.
And they're usually these undisclosed, highfalutin investment scheme.
Right.
That is like in Nigeria, they usually say is oil and gas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to disclose it to you, and so it's hidden like that. So people just be bringing their money, and one day if the pipeline of new money coming in terminates.
Yes.
The whole pyramid
thing.
That's why it's also called a pyramid scheme.
Right.
The whole pyramid
comes down.
It comes down. Remember. The point is there's a guy actually called Charles Ponzi.
Right.
That's where the root of this came from. Even though there were people like that before then. Charles Dickens in his novels, in the novels he wrote earlier, they made references to Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
You will know Ponzi schemes from when they promise interest rates that are not out of whack. And I see it every day here. Now, remember that in the last time I had this in this program,
yep.
I talked about the fact that we require education of our citizens.
Right. So sensitization.
Yeah. And which is what your rundown talked about.
Yeah.
And I always have problems on how Nigerians communicate. People like NOA, Nigerian Orientation Agency, communicate.
Right.
Because we have frontiers for communication, either the churches or the communities and so on and so forth, the markets.
Right.
A lot of traders I know lost so much money in the MMM. And the later one that happened, the MBA. Remember we did MBA?
We talked about that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so you can sensitize, there are focal points. You can sensitize. Like go to the markets, go to the churches, talk about things like this, and I thought about it. And S.E.C has literally offices all over the country. They need to do more. If you open your WhatsApp sometimes, you see a lot of these names.
Yes, exactly.
People are making promises or whatever.
Yep.
I'm sure that S.E.C should be more alert to this. And I'm happy that they're still talking about it. But fellow Nigerians, there's nowhere in this land when interest rates investments are about 5%, whatever, regular investment.
Right.
People are going to promise you 20%. I've even seen them now spread to agriculture.
Yes, and some of these agricultural firms, they have to write letters saying, we can't make payments.
Can't make payments again.
Right.
They say, we have a maize firms at Okirikukwa. A yam farm at Ikwetumodu.
Right.
Come and invest in yam. Crap, man. And then people are just putting money and so on and so forth. Do you know I did a straw poll in my office among my staff?
Yeah.
I said, guys, how many of you invested in this MMM thing and the MBA?
How many of them?
So many of them.
Wow.
Some of them just said, okay. I said, just make an enter.
Quickly come out.
Before the thing, I just come out. I said, see, all of you have lost so much money. So greed plays an important part in this.
Yes.
And don't be greedy. There's no short way to making money. If the juju man can double money,
everybody,
if I can double money,
right?
Me, I will not tell you how to double. I'll keep it doing quietly. I just go and grab all the money in this world and just be doubling for myself. So all these shortcuts, but I mean, symptomatic of the challenges we have in the land.
I was about to ask you that whether the economic situation plays a role
in this.
Yeah.
And people are looking for breakthroughs. People are looking for how to make things. People are unemployed. And then the societal values also have gone into the pit. Nobody asks again, how did you get your money? So you just see somebody, you don't kill, just see me and my new Mercedes, so you just say, what am I doing wrong? And the next day, you just come and just start doing your own,
Exactly.
So there's societal issues involved in that. Again, the churches, the communities, everybody has a role to play in this.
Do you think, you mentioned WhatsApp, and that was because that's a new mode of communication now, even Instagram. Do you think the S.E.C has the capability to target the online schemes? Because that suggests it may be difficult.
I think is the funnels to capture the information in this. Because you see, let me tell you what I'm saying. You know how we see a comic or a comedy, or a skit, as case may be, that's funny, that's nice.
Yes.
Within 24 hours,
it is.
If I forward it to you,
yes,
you tell me, Chika, you already have it.
Right, right.
That's how it happens.
Yes.
Or you see some information and they say forwarded so many times already.
Right.
I'm just saying that S.E.C must have that kind of, way they must capture information like that.
Gotcha, okay. So they have to be online themselves.
Online themselves.
Right.
Because that's where information is now. And even the community, like this MBA was all over Port Harcourt. Does S.E.C say that they didn't see them?
See it, right.
So they must, and that. And so one of the things people must learn is that the initiators of these programs, listen, they're on the run.
They disappear.
They disappear.
Yeah.
They're on the run. They live lifestyle. If you're making investment, you don't live that kind of big lifestyle. You don't. When I was a branch manager in a bank, that was supposed to break even in a year, I broke even in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Because one of these Ponzi schemes was banking with me. Yes.
Really?
And they were money was just pouring in. And they were just paying out. And they were telling people that they were doing some oil and gas thing. And me as a banker and branch manager, I knew that they were doing nothing. It was one called Forum in those days.
Yeah.
That was the name, one of the earliest ones. I knew they were doing nothing. I knew as a matter of time, some people will be crying. And people cried. Just like they cried for MMM and they cried for MBA. And there's so many again in the system.
Final question, Chika, just a few seconds to go. Do you think a high-profile arrest or court case or something will do,
When we catch people like this, really show the example that they can't profit from crime. That's what it requires also. But our Nigerian legal system is also like a snail.
Another issue.
Snail.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
You.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.